Today I'm going to be comparing my 2022 Elantra N to the new 2024 Elantra N Refresh. Before I begin the comparison, I want to thank Hyundai of Evansville for allowing me to film their first 2024 Elantra N allocation. The Elantra N, which I'm filming today, is currently for sale and ready to go home with you today. The dealership is expecting a few more Elantra Ns in the coming weeks. So, if you're in the market for a new 24 Elantra N or other Hyundai product, stop by and see Chris Kelly at Hyundai of Evansville, located in Evansville, Indiana. I will have Chris's information in the video description along with the dealership's website. I've been excited to see the new 24 Elantra N in person. Typically, pictures don't do a vehicle justice, and this vehicle is no exception. The car looks better in person than online. The vehicle I'm looking at today is in the new Abyss Black color with the DCT transmission. The other colors available are Performance Blue, Intense Blue, Cyber Gray, Atlas White, and Ultimate Red. The red is a new color added for 24 in the US. We'll start with the differences in the front bumpers. The 24 has a sleeker, more grown-up look versus the more aggressive boy racer look of the previous generation. Gone is the large black grille, and in its place a thinner one. I would compare this update to what Honda has done with the newest 11th generation Honda Civic Type R. The new R has a more grown-up look as well. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the new front-end look. The headlights still have a full LED setup with LED daytime running lights, but reshaped. The high and low beams now have a more rectangular design in a slimmer housing. The daylight running light is longer and stretches to the front of the hood into a silver strip that runs the entire front of the hood. This strip does not light up like some of the other newer Hyundai models. At the top of the hood, you'll notice Hyundai's new logo, which is made from a flat piece of stainless steel that is painted black versus the previous gen's plastic raised chrome emblem. This is a much nicer looking emblem. The only issue would be if you want to debadge the vehicle, this may be harder to do. We'll have to see what the aftermarket companies come up with. But the emblem looks so nice, people may choose to leave the badge on their car. The N badge follows the same concept, except it's still silver with red and black accents. The center area of the front bumper still has a large center section in flat black, but above and below the center section are two smaller sections with traditional horizontal and vertical lines. New for 24 are front parking sensors, which are integrated into the center section and side vents. Speaking of the side vents, they are still present on this car, just in a different shape. These vents are functional and provide cooling for the front brakes. The lower front splitter has the same red trim, but is a bit thicker with a center section that extends up to the lower grille. Moving over to the sides, you can see the sides remain unchanged. Now the wheels are different for 24. You get Hyundai's Performance Forged 19-inch black wheels. These new wheels are 33 pounds lighter than the previous wheels. Hyundai offered these wheels in 22 and 23, but they were only available as an option in Korea. Some U.S. part companies have been selling these forged wheels, but they are pretty expensive to purchase. Now you get them as standard on all Elantra N models in the United States. The tires remain the same, which is a good thing because Hyundai didn't cheapen out on tires. They are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S Summer Performance tires. The previous models received 19-inch black alloy wheels with machined fronts. The older wheels are nice, but I prefer the new forged wheels. They have a more open look that helps to show off the red N brake calipers. The brake calipers also remain the same at 14.2 for the front and 12.4 in the rear. Also, all N models come with adaptive dampers and multi-link rear suspension. Going around to the rear of the car, you can immediately see some differences between the new Refresh and the previous generation. The lower bumper, diffuser, and red stripe section are all new for 2024. The lower red reflectors are now higher up on the bumper, and you have two new side vents. The triangle reflector is still present and still non-functional. The emblems are the same as the front with the new flat black design. The N has the same flat design as well. The exhaust tips, thankfully, have not changed. They are still large and look great coming out of the rear diffuser. The exhaust tips not only look great, but they are attached to an exhaust that is one of the best sounding factory exhausts, especially at this price point. Take a listen. After hearing the 22 versus the 24, I noticed my 22 had a slightly louder and deeper tone. I don't have any modifications done to my exhaust, so this may be due to the vehicle being so new and not having any carbon buildup in the cat. So the sound could change over time. Even with the slight sound difference, it still sounded great. Inside the trunk, you'll find the space to be the same size as before with a single fold-down rear seat. The large red rear brace is still in the trunk, which helps with the car's rigidity, but hurts with loading larger items into the car. The Bose subwoofer is mounted under the rear deck. Inside the spare tire wheel well, Hyundai still doesn't include a spare. Instead, they provide a fix-a-flat kit with a compressor. I had no idea that I was going to have an audience today. Under the hood, the engine for 24 is unchanged. It's still powered by the same 2-liter GDI 4-cylinder twin-scroll turbocharged engine, making 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. The engine is mated up to either a 6-speed manual transmission or an 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission with paddle shifters. All the power is sent to the front wheels. To help keep all that power down, especially in the corners, is an E-limited slip differential. This setup with manual transmission will do 0 to 60 in approximately 5.7 seconds, whereas with the DCT, you should see 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. The top speed is limited to 155 miles per hour. With all that torque being sent to the front wheels only, I would highly recommend adding bushings to your lower and upper motor mounts along with a transmission bushing. This will help to control wheel hop, which this car is known for. If you care about fuel economy, the 24 model did see a slight reduction in fuel economy in both transmissions. The manual is now rated at 21 city, 29 highway, with a combined rating of 24 miles per gallon versus the previous generation, which was rated at 22 city and 31 highway, with a combined rating of 25 miles per gallon. The DCT is now rated at 20 city, 27 highway, versus the previously rated at 20 city, 30 highway, but both have a combined rating of 23 miles per gallon. Looking inside the 24 Elantra N, you'll see that the interior really didn't get much of an update at all. On top of the doors, you'll have hard-touch plastic, followed by a suede middle and a soft rubber armrest. You still get the same nicely bolstered leather and suede sport seats with the lighted N logo. The seats feel nice and hold you in place during spirited driving. Both the driver's and passenger's side can be adjusted manually. When you sit in the driver's seat, you'll notice it sits lower than the normal Elantra vehicles. This gives a sportier feel to the N model. Also, the seats are heated but not cooled. The car has a lot of physical buttons instead of touch-sensitive buttons found on other cars like the Golf R. I prefer to have actual buttons over touch-sensitive buttons or having to use the media screen for all the controls of the car. The AC offers dual-zone climate control and is located underneath the media screen. Underneath that, you will see some changes. The phone charging pad has been updated to sit up a bit so that the pad can offer better cooling while charging your phone. Also, the charging USB port has been updated to a USB-C. The USB for connecting to your phone for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay is still a standard USB port. The cup holder comes with two size cup holders, one small, one large. The smaller of the two has an insert that you can also use for even the smallest of cups, such as a cup of coffee. The handbrake is still manual. The N has not gone to an electric parking brake like some of the other Elantra models. The armrest is the same soft rubber material. My only complaint is that I wish the cup holders and armrest were configured a bit differently, as I find my arm can just barely sit on the armrest while holding the shifter. It's not a huge deal, but something that I've noticed while owning the car. The armrest has a small amount of storage. Speaking of storage, the glove box is the same size. It is not damped or lined. The steering wheel is laid out the same except for the center horn section, which now has the new flat black H emblem. All of the other controls, such as the media buttons on the left, the cruise and menu controls on the right, are the same. You also get the large blue mode select button on the left an N mode button on the right with NGS button or N-Grin Shift Overboost under that. NGS provides 10 additional horsepower and more aggressive shifts for 20 seconds. If you get the manual transmission, the NGS button is replaced with a Rev Match button. The dash will have two 10.25-inch displays, one for your gauges and one for your media. You'll also notice that the left-hand blank dash is still here. Hyundai has decided to leave it unchanged. It serves no purpose, it's simply a vanity trim to help with the flow of the screens. For the most part, the infotainment system seems to still be the same. The main difference is the infotainment now has the new, most recent update, which I have not yet performed on my car. The main gauge cluster shows upcoming speed and warning signs. With the newest version of the infotainment system, the N-specific screens will get colored gauges in addition to the numeric values in each of the gauges that are displayed. The active sound design system that pipes in audio to make the car in the inside sound different, such as Sport, High Performance, TCR, or Rally, which these sounds are piped in through the audio system and are not real sounds for the engine or exhaust. These now get extra controls in 24. Finally, you get the upgraded Bose system, which I have a lot of videos about. This is a decent system, and for the class of car, it's more than adequate. If you want better audio, it's easy to fix in this car. But for the majority of people, listening to the car's exhaust will be all the music you'll need. As for the backup camera, that has changed a bit since you now have front and rear parking sensors. This is a nice upgrade when parking your car. Overhead, since both vehicles are equipped with a DCT, they come standard with a sunroof. Unfortunately, the manual does not come standard with a sunroof. There was no upgrade to the interior lighting. The lights are still incandescent. I've upgraded mine to LED, which is an inexpensive and worthwhile upgrade. I'm surprised Hyundai didn't include this as an upgrade for 24. Inside the back seats, you'll see that they are covered with the same faux leather and suede material like the front seats. There's no center armrest since you do not get a 60-40 split seat. The major change is the addition of two USB-C charging ports on the back of the center console for passengers. There's plenty of leg and headroom in the back seats. At 5'11", I have plenty of head and leg room in both the 24 and 22-23 models. The key fob for 24 is now an egg shape that functions as normal. If you get the DCT, you will get the addition of remote start. You can also choose to use Hyundai's digital key that now works with both Android and Apple phones. I was unable to drive the 24 new Elantra a long distance, so I can't give a full review on the driving dynamics. But what I can say is I didn't notice a tremendous difference between the driving dynamics of the new 24 versus the 22 that I have. Hyundai claims that they have updated the suspension and steering for 24. If they have, I would say that it is a minor update. Compared to the previous models, there have been two price increases since 2022. We saw an increase of over $1,500 in 23, which included destination, And now in 24, we've seen another increase, but this time an increase of only $700 to $1,000 with destination. Even though the refresh adds only a few updates over the previous model years, the minimal amount that it has increased still adds value with just the wheels alone. With that said, the 24 Elantra N with manual transmission starts at around $34,850 with destination, and the DCT model adds an additional $1,500, which is the same price difference as the two previous model years. Even with the slight price increase, the N is still a bargain compared to its rivals such as the Golf R, Toyota GR Corolla, or Honda Civic Type R, which are all over the $40,000 mark. It offers similar performance as its rivals at a better price. Plus, Hyundai backs the N with a much longer warranty, which also includes maintenance for 3 years, roadside assistance for 5 years, and even covers you during non-competitive track days. If you already have an Elantra N and want to upgrade, you may want to wait until the next refresh, where hopefully we'll get the 2.5-liter engine. But if you don't already own an Elantra N and want a car that sounds great, drives great, and just puts a smile on your face every time you hit the gas, stop watching this video now and go buy one. You can thank me later. There is no way you'll be disappointed. These cars have a ton of performance, especially for the price. At under $40,000, you cannot go wrong. My wife and I both have N vehicles, and they are by far our favorite cars that we have ever owned. Thank you again to Hyundai of Evansville for allowing me time with the 2024 Hyundai Elantra N. It was fun making this video and comparing the two model years. And for your next car, call or stop by and ask for Chris Kelly. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content.